by Ray Ferris. He's the boss of West Fraser Timber. Thanks very much indeed for giving us the time today.
My pleasure, Andrew, and appreciate the opportunity.
So it's all stock, and the shareholders in Norbord end up with about 44% of the merged entity. So you're giving a hefty stake here in the merged company to them. Why are you so keen on buying Norbord? What do you like about the operation?
Well, Andrew, I mean, West Fraser is a diversified forest products company that supplies lumber, plywood, MDF, LVL, and we have a pretty strong pulp and bioenergy business as well into the North American, essentially home building construction, industrial markets, and so. Although we like our platform, we like our portfolio, the opportunity to acquire a world-class leader in production of low-cost, high-margin OSB, it's a perfect complement to our product portfolio, and really kind of lays the groundwork for us to be just a more complete supplier, to our customers.
What are the synergies here? I was wondering, would you use scraps from your lumber mills to help make the OSB, or what are the direct synergies between your lumber business and OSB?
Good question. I mean, there's certainly synergies, potential synergies on with respect to fiber, input into our mills and figuring out how to be more efficient between the operations. But the bigger synergies really are, a couple of areas. One, we have a lot of overlapping or very close proximity operations, and that aren't consuming the same fiber. And so our view is that the proximity of those operations gives us regional strength. So we're able to gain efficiencies around transportation, logistics, and other things like that. And then the other one is the scale of the company. Quite frankly, transportation and logistics. Our combined companies will be somewhere around $1 billion on spend on transportation or logistics, and so that gives us quite an opportunity to look for efficiencies.
What about antitrust considerations? Do you anticipate BC, for example, wanting to examine this deal? It'll give you, an even tighter grip on the province's forest resource.
So no, we don't see any issue in BC. Norbord does not have any remaining facilities inside British Columbia. So this transaction is primarily all outside of BC. We don't see any competition issues there.
Okay, sorry, I didn't know that the Norbord didn't have plants in BC anymore. They're in Europe and North America generally then, the Norbord plants. I mean, it's the world's #1 OSB company.
Norbord is the world leading OSB company, and they're extremely well run and well led, and we have a high degree of respect and admire the company. That's one of the attractions that we have. Their facilities are, certainly complementary and to some of ours in Alberta. They have a number of plants in eastern Canada and quite a bit in our, in relatively close proximity to. We have our 21 U.S. South lumber mills, and a number of the OSB plants are in relatively close proximity. The exciting aspect is so these are areas that we have a strong operating presence in, and we see real opportunity to continue to kind of have a strong people platform in those areas. But the other really exciting opportunity for us, Andrew, is the entry into Europe. And Norbord's had a very successful strategy and a good growing footprint in the UK and Europe, and we're excited to be part of that. We do think that that's an area that for further potential.
Where does this put you on the global scale in forest products? Will you be in the top 5, for example, now, the merged West Fraser and Norbord?
Andrew, you think I would have that bang on? And certainly we're going to be right near the top. I would say our focus
Sure.
is first on being very good at what we want to do. Whatever product and area that we want to be in, we want to be good at it. And then if we can be good at it, then we'd like to grow. And so. And in this case, for sure, when we will be the global lumber leader, and we will be the global OSB leader, and we think that's a really good and strong combination.
Can you tell me, Brookfield are a major shareholder in Norbord, and obviously it's an endorsement of you guys. Smart Cookies at Brookfield want to be partners with you. It looks to me like they're going to own something like 19% of the merged company. Do you have any indication as to whether Brookfield is going to be a long-term shareholder in the merged entity, or is there a plan to exit at some stage?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of Brookfield, and but what I would say, Andrew, is it's obvious that Brookfield was a great long-term partner. Partner is probably the wrong word, but a shareholder of Norbord, and that seems to have been a very good relationship, and so we're looking forward to them be a valued shareholder within West Fraser, and certainly this opportunity, for all shareholders is one that, the scale, the market cap of the company, and the liquidity of the company gives all of our shareholders more options on where they want to put their money.
Maybe I could, if we just discuss the lumber market for a second. I'll ask the control room to put up maybe a 3-year or a 5-year chart for lumber. Lumber earlier this year, as you know, went to record highs, then came back. It dropped rapidly, has been moving back up slightly since. What is the story, though? Are companies like you posting massive cash flow at current lumber prices? I know you did in your latest quarter.
So, Andrew, it's not. So, if you actually could look at the last 2 or 3 years, it's not a coincidence that we've seen, record pricing in twice in the last 3 years. What you're seeing is a growing appetite to consume more wood products. Has a great ESG and carbon footprint profile, but more importantly, as housing and some of these other sectors of the economy continue to grow, and that's what we're seeing is strong housing starts despite some of the impacts or some of the issues that have impacted short-term volatility around the pandemic is frankly the ability for the lumber sector to supply the growing demand. So that's what's led to high pricing in the lumber side, and to a similar extent on the OSB side is that being able to supply the market through the dips and cycles, and so that's what's leading to some of the high pricing and the strong cash flows.
One thing I just want to ask you before we go, as you know, divestment of fossil fuels has been a theme for some institutional investors. Are you worried that could spread to the forest sector? I mean, I'm thinking about BC. Apparently the industry there is still cutting down virgin forest. There's so little of it left. Are you worried about bad publicity could result in some investors turning their backs on your sector?
Well, I worry about lots of things, Andrew. But what I would say is that the reality of it is, and environmental NGOs and others and governments recognize the importance of building with wood. It is the sustainable building material. So if people, and we all do, want to contribute and be part of a low-carbon, sustainable economy, lumber, forest products, and the sustainable manufacturing of forests, it plays an important role, and we won't be able to achieve our carbon and climate change targets without, quite frankly, utilizing the working forest that you need. And of course, we replant everything that we make, and it's a very sustainable. So, no, I would say we don't see it that way at all. We see it as a tremendous opportunity, and our investors see that. And I think we have to continue to improve our ESG story around on forest products, but it's a strong one, and I think we're quite bullish.